There's a quiet truth about the human face that Carl Jung understood a long time ago. Looking young isn't just about skin. It's about the light that comes from inside. People who start to look old are often not the ones whose age has simply caught up with them, but the ones whose inner self has quietly gone dim. They wake up and feel like they have to force themselves to get moving. They look in the mirror and avoid their own eyes. This isn't because time has caught them. It's because they've handed their nights and mornings over to chaos. Jung believed that a person's true self splits into two parts: the face we show the world, which he called the persona, and the real self hidden underneath, which he called the shadow. When these two parts get cut off from each other, a person feels tired, dull, and old, no matter their actual age. But when the morning is spent in a way that brings the persona and the shadow back together, the glow returns to the face that people call youth. Have you ever seen someone who looks much younger than their real age, whose eyes carry a certain calm, whose walk carries a quiet confidence? Maybe you saw this in a teacher, or in an old friend you met years later who still looked just as fresh. On the surface, it looks like they have some secret, but in reality, they don't have an expensive secret. They simply have a morning that they build for themselves. And here's an interesting truth. Looking old isn't always about time. Sometimes it's simply the result of small habits repeated every morning. Grabbing the phone the instant you wake up, poor sleep, jumping into work without even washing your face, and never saying a single kind word to yourself. These habits seem small on the surface, but over time they start to show up in the face, in the way someone walks, and in their whole presence. The first habit is what Jung called presence, being aware. Before diving into the light of the phone the moment you wake up, just staying with yourself for a few moments. People who meet the world's noise before meeting their own thoughts in the morning end up scattered as soon as the day begins, and that scattered feeling shows on the face too. A rush, a restlessness in the eyes. The second habit is sunlight. Jung saw humans as deeply connected to nature, something that loses its life when cut off from its natural rhythm. Just 10 minutes of morning sunlight resets the body clock, improves sleep, and naturally boosts the skin's glow. People who start their day locked in a dark room end up with a dull, lifeless look on their face. The third habit is standing tall with yourself, literally. Good posture, shoulders back, chest open. Jung believed that the body is a mirror of a person's inner state. Someone who carries themselves small and shrunken slowly starts to look tired and weighed down in the face too. But someone who keeps their posture upright lets their confidence naturally spread to their face. The fourth habit is meeting yourself gently in the mirror. Jung said that a person who doesn't accept their shadow, their flaws, their tiredness, their fears, stays at war with themselves. Instead of harshly criticizing yourself in the mirror each morning, simply looking at yourself with a bit of kindness, this small act can undo years of silence. People who treat themselves gently carry less tension in their face, and it's that very tension that shows age. The fifth habit is water, not just for the skin, but for the truth happening inside the body. A body that is thirsty screams quietly from within, and that scream shows up as dry skin, dull eyes, and a tired complexion. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning is like reminding yourself, I take care of myself. The sixth habit is light movement of the body, a few minutes of stretching or walking. Jung saw the human being as more than just a mind, but as a union of body and mind. A body that doesn't move in the morning stays sluggish, and that sluggishness slows blood flow, which makes the face look worn out. But when the body wakes up a little, the face naturally lights up too. The seventh habit is writing, putting your thoughts down on paper. Jung considered this part of individuation, the process of understanding your inner world. People who never let their buried thoughts out end up carrying a hidden confusion that shows on their face. But people who spend just 2 minutes writing down what's on their heart carry a clear calm on their face. The eighth habit is speaking to yourself with gentle words. A person who tells themselves in the morning, I can't do this, or I'm so tired, gets a body that responds accordingly. Shoulders drop, the face sags. But someone who tells themselves, today is my day, gets a body and a face that start to believe it too. The ninth habit is curiosity, doing something new, whether it's listening to a new song or reading a new idea. Jung believed that a mind stuck in the same old repetition every day slowly dries up inside. But a mind that looks for something even slightly new each morning stays alive, and a living mind always looks young, no matter the actual age. And the 10th habit is the simplest one, gratitude. Right after waking up, recalling 3 things you're grateful for. Jung believed that a person who can see the good things in their life carries a softness through their entire being, their face, their walk, their voice, a softness that no expensive cream can ever give. These 10 habits may look separate, but in truth, they're all saying the same thing. The body and mind aren't separate. They're two sides of the same being. When the mind is at peace, the face naturally glows. When the body is respected, age naturally loosens its grip. Neuroscience backs this up too. When the body gets calm and attention in the morning, cortisol, the stress hormone, drops. Lower cortisol means less inflammation, and less inflammation means more glow in the skin. This isn't magic, it's simply biology. But it's biology that only works for people who respect their mornings. It's also important to say this. This isn't an overnight miracle. People who start these habits don't see instant change. But over time, like a single drop wearing a waystone, these small mornings reshape the face, the walk, and the whole self. And people who abandon these habits end up looking worn out before their time, no matter their actual age. Jung said that a person's real work is to meet their whole self, the union of the persona and the shadow. And maybe that's why youth isn't just the glow of skin, but the light of that union. A person who speaks the truth to themselves each morning, takes care of themselves and accepts who they are, ends up with a face that reveals that truth on its own. So if you wake up and look in the mirror feeling worn out, if you feel like time has left you behind, remember this. Maybe the problem isn't time at all. Maybe it's the silence you keep with yourself every morning. These small habits, rooted in Jung's wisdom, can bring not just your skin, but your entire self back to life. And when the self is alive, the face naturally starts to look young again.